This is the Isle of Roux, and no one can tell us what to do.
That's right.
We're very grateful to be here with you. I'm really grateful to have this place to come to. It's too.
I am also. I'm going to turn the sound down for the loop.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Share.
I think we're good.
Sharing now.
So I'm going to.
I love that time that Felix is like, yeah, click share, click like. How did he say it? Like he said, tap that.
See that subscribe button, like all of the YouTubers.
No, he just nailed it though, like.
Because he knows what they say.
Was 12.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
He's in the world.
We're
doing
not
it.
these people.
But I am a person that can do the land acknowledgement.
Oh, well, I acknowledge your ability to do the land acknowledgement, and I encourage you to do so.
That's so nice. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Wakinstis is the ancestral territory of the Siksike Sitipi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutena, Biithkabi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation, guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands, and who now call this place home.
I'm always watching to see if you can see my fingers
Tappy, tappy, tappy.
tickling in the back of your
Guess
arm.
what? I've been helping the kids on the pottery wheel,
Yeah.
and my muscles are all like achy, and it's like every time I feel that, I'm like, yes, we did
Don't
good.
touch my arm.
No, I'm
my
think-
achy, breaky
no.
arm.
I'm thinking I did good work today.
You done it good, baby.
Like, I like when art making, you can feel it after you're done making the art. Like,
I never have that.
because you have big muscles.
I'm just trying to think. What happens?
The wheel's hard. I have to put my whole energy. I even locked myself up against the back of this table so I could like set to this.
I'm trying to make a connection to your experience. The closest I can get to is this. You ready?
Yes.
You had gone out, and I was dismantling those like sketchy crates from Jamaica.
Yeah.
They were like pirate crates. They were like covered in slop, and they were just sticky and gross.
So
Yeah, and then I was working for the most part in work boots because I was dismantling all these crates.
Yeah.
And then I was about to go for a bike ride or something, so I put my sneakers on and I stepped on a board. And I stepped on the board, and the nail that was sticking out of the crate went into my foot. And I picked my foot up, and I like tried to kick it off, and it was like having like a ski on. So I had to put my foot back down, transfer my weight, step on the board, and pull my foot off the nail.
Oh.
And then you weren't there, so I didn't think about it too much. And then we went home, and I went to bed, and I wasn't even going to take my socks off. When was it? I don't want to look, kind of thing. It's like, Can you? It's like late.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. We were going to sleep.
I was like, can you just check something for me? And you're like, what? I'm like, don't freak out, because she always freaks out. And I go, can you just check something for me? I'm like, can you just take a look at my foot? And you like rolled back the sock, but what had happened is the blood had like glued the sock to my foot. So you had to rip it off, and you're like, what the hell happened to your foot? And I was like, oh, I stepped on a nail. And you're like, when was the last time you got a tetanus shot? And I'm like, I had one in grade 8, So it was like decades. And then so we went to the hospital in the middle of the night, and I got a tetanus shot. And the doctor was so smarmy about it. He's like, this is going to hurt a lot. And I'm like, well, I don't know if you can see this, but I ripped this bicep off. Well, this is a bicep, but this is where, and I have no feeling in that arm, so it worked out really well. Yeah, yeah.
It did work. Everything worked out.
Everything's working. How do you know?
We want to say hello, Kelly. We want to say hello, Amanda. And we want to say hello, Zach. And Zach says, what's the mailing address?
Why, the mailing address, my friend, is Post Box
P.O.
Box 13035, Beltline RPO, Calgary, Alberta, T2R1C6. That's T2R1C6.
That's good. That's good.
Thanks.
For those of you watching on devices, you can screenshot it, and then you have it too.
Right. Actually, and if we just typed it and pasted it into there,
I could do that.
Copy and paste it out. You're so impressive. I would never in a billion years try and type that out, because I hate, like, even email addresses. I can't stand when people expect me to be able to get an email address right. That's super annoying. Or like when they just say the email address to you really fast, like you're supposed to know what all the details are. And they'll be like, oh, it's at gorilla dot whatever. And they're like, was that gorilla or gorilla? Gorilla. The punk band from Russia that's a sort of riot with felines.
Gorilla Girls?
No, Pussy Riot.
Oh. You're talking about gorillas, so I thought.
But they're having a show in Calgary, or they just had a show in Calgary.
Oh yeah, they were. I think.
Or I could be completely wrong.
No, they were. You're right. They were either just here or they're coming. Because
that would be a nice acknowledgement if we could find their address and mail them something. That'd be nice.
That would be nice. Sorry, now I'm like looking for. I'll look for that another time. Oh, let us know if you want the link to join us from your studio. Kelly is joining us from her studio. Hello. And there's 6 people with us. So,
that's
Rich
amazing.
Teru, what is the letter? This T for Teru?
T. Gordon. T. George. What are you doing? I don't know. You're talking to yourself a little bit.
T, that's G. So T is our letter this week. T is in my book is Tanit, and she was Baal's consort. And this one talks to our part of our manifesto, which says we do not speak for the dead.
Right, that's a thing.
Because when you have such an old god or old story, people make up ideas of what this goddess was about. And when they found an altar and like a burial space for her, they found like thousands of children's bones and remains at this worshiping spot for this goddess. And so right away people are like, oh my gosh, it was about eating babies and she was all about death. But in recent understandings of history based on other spaces and other like actual contextual understandings, people are now considering that she was actually a goddess for stillborn and miscarried babies. And so it was kind of like a mother figure. So the idea of either like a terrifying cannibalistic goddess or a mother who is taking back the kids who needed travel into the afterworld. So they're very different stories, and she's not here to talk about it. So we have to always remember it's all speculative. Yeah.
I don't like when people make up narratives like it doesn't bother me whether Michelangelo did or didn't draw himself as a female.
Right.
I just don't like when people make up stories about him after he's dead.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And we can't ask him.
And most people do learn to draw from their own face. So like most of my drawings, actually until I met you, would often look like
you.
Me. Because that's how I learned to draw.
You know, it was so sweet. I was talking to this one girl in my class. Yeah. And she said, I knew exactly what your husband looked like when he came in the room. I knew that it was your husband because we have a giant painting of Chuck the Superhero in my classroom. And she said, that looks exactly like him. So
isn't that nice?
It was very sweet. Mm-hmm. So I agree.
Even in my costume.
Right? She even recognized you.
So much for the costume. Okay. So what are some of the things on my list for tea?
Technology.
Not interested.
But, well, you know what? Like, this is technology.
In it.
Because they didn't have... Oh. Do you need more? Can we mix more? Can I do that live?
Yeah.
Live and in real time?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I just so happen to have a jar of indigo powder.
Let's do it here.
Should I get a tablecloth? Should I get a...
Tablecloth. No.
Should I get a... Can I get a... What?
Don't do that.
How much did we do this? I don't know what that means. Sorry.
Was it a what? Or was it oh yeah?
No, I don't do that. It was a what?
Why, are they different?
Yeah, I think so.
What do they mean?
One is from the early 2000s in a hip hop song.
Yeah.
And I think the other sound is from current times.
What does it mean?
I think it's rude.
See, you know what? Like, what do you think? What do you think skibbity toilet means?
Like stupid.
Or
I don't know.
Smart.
Really?
Yeah, it means nothing. It's like Smurfy.
God, I hate this. I'm gonna go get a spoon. It's like the degradation of language.
Language is fluid and it's supposed to
language
change.
can evolve, but what if it goes to having no meaning? Because I totally agree. Language can evolve and does evolve. It's a natural thing. But what if it doesn't have meaning?
Hey Siri, turn my flashlight off.
What if that?
What? Hey Siri, turn my flashlight on. Your phone does. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I turned flashlight on.
So this is like a fine powder of indigo. Hey Siri, turn my flashlight off. Do it! Turn my flashlight off.
Okay, I turned flashlight off.
Your phone's talky. Are you getting me a spoon?
Oh yeah, I got distracted.
Don't do that.
I was pouring tea. I'm coming.
I can get my own spoon if I know you're not coming.
I'm coming.
It's not that far.
I just want to put this down. Oh, there's tea for tree in our kitchen.
I'm going to hold my breath.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this. How much was the indigo?
$30 from
That's like, we will never use this all.
from Norway.
That doesn't sound right.
No,
Ooh, can
Iceland.
you grab a paper towel? I'll get it.
Yeah. Sorry.
Is it a powder?
Yeah,
Oh, I could use it in resin.
yeah. It's a powdered pigment from Iceland.
Okay.
Country.
Yeah, because you can use that in resin.
Oh yeah.
You don't need very much. You can actually probably paint it in the resin.
It's really interesting. I think we showed the video last week.
Yep.
It's like round. Like, I don't know. It's really beautiful.
Round here.
Always stand up
Did we want
straight.
to heat it up at any point? Did we ever get around to that?
No, I do have boiled water.
No, I don't need that.
Round here.
It's so beautiful.
So that's wonderful. Amanda stepped on a nail last summer. It is not fun, is it? No, that's not fun. I'm so sorry.
What
Okay.
kind of stuff is airborne? Like, is it fine powder?
What's the word?
Is it fine?
Did you say airborne?
Yeah, because mica can be airborne, so sometimes powder can be airborne.
Yeah, it's not as fine as mica powder, I don't think.
It's pretty fine though. If you breathe on it, it kind of goes away.
Yeah.
It's not like gonna float up. I don't know. You know what? I'm speculating.
Yeah.
Because if you see it on your skin, you're fine. It's not going to hurt you.
So technology. What's another T word?
Time.
Okay. What's another
Transformation.
one? Okay.
Oh, I'm doing a frog for this time of year is the idea of transformation because we're like renewal,
No.
tradition, transcendence, travel,
How's the screen this week, Kelly? Is it
tranquility, turmoil.
we're doing okay?
It's fine.
It's not glitching or anything?
Nope.
Because we have a little less light, and one of the things we found was that on days that we have more light versus less light, the some of the glitching is sometimes the light trying to keep up. It is really interesting the way when I make this that if I dig down to the bottom where the what's the gum stuff
Pigment?
called?
Oh, gum arabic.
The Arabic is at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up, if I dig in to the bottom, I get like a dark blue black.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just put it in the top, I get
where it's settled almost, because you put water in there this time. The last time I thought did gum arabic.
Was it just gum
and
arabic?
pigment? Yeah.
No.
And then I thought.
I'm pretty sure I put water in.
Oh. Okay.
But I think I have a higher water ratio.
Mm.
Like I think there's more water.
I'll have to mix you guys some color changing chameleon powder, mica, to paint with.
That's nice.
Can you tell me more about that, Kelly?
It's well, the stuff I get is from a wholesaler in China, like right directly from them who make it. And so they use.
Sometimes I'm a little cautious about like when I order stuff like that because I don't know if I'm getting like the same safety standards that I would get if it went through an art store.
They actually have a thing. They write it up, and it comes with all the information with it, the safeties, everything like that. And I've been using their stuff for a while. You just have to, well, when I mix it, I have to wear a mask and stuff because it does float in the air. But once it's in the water, it should be fine.
How do you know?
Well, I haven't tried it. I was thinking of mixing it with maybe gesso or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
I have painted with it before, and it was fine.
Kelly, did you send a link to Theo?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm going to send a painting this week to Shelf Life, even though they start with S and not T. And do you have anybody that you're grateful to? Also, I'm going to send a painting to Dawn's Hobby Shop.
Oh, yes.
And
T could be for theater.
Ryan's really nice at Dawn's Hobby Shop.
Yeah.
who is?
Owner.
What did she say?
Ryan. Ryan's the owner of Dawn's Hobby Shop. Or sorry, no, that's the costume shop. I can't remember.
We like the costume shop as well.
Yeah, the costume shop is Ryan. Sorry, Dawn's Hobby Shop is I can't remember the girl's name.
We were just talking to her.
Charlie is
Charlie, yeah, she's really good too.
Yeah.
I go see both of them. I like Ryan, and I like also Dawn's as well.
Nice.
That's where I get all the makeup for Boss Man from, Dawn's.
Yeah, we figured you'd been in there.
Yeah.
Guess which mask we bought?
Which one?
Guess.
It's like Infinity Mask.
Predator?
Listen, when was the last time you were in there?
A year ago.
I think you can guess.
Don't really look at the masks usually, but Star Wars?
Nope. Wait, there wasn't any Star Wars masks.
That was a year ago.
What
Yeah.
mask was there for Star Wars?
I don't know.
I think you do.
A gorilla?
I have a gorilla.
I'd have to go online and look.
When I say it, you're going to slap your forehead and go, of course, why didn't I say that?
Chimpanzee?
Nope.
I don't know.
Do you want to see it?
Sure.
Okay. You forced my hand.
Oh,
Just, yeah,
Theo's
get
here.
The mics. The mics.
Hi, guys.
Theo.
Hi, Theo. Should have guessed.
Should have guessed.
Black Lagoon.
It's too late to guess, Kelly. You can't guess now.
Well, last week was the wolf, so
Yeah.
this week would have been of course, the lagoon monster. So now the only one I think you don't have is the mummy,
Oh.
I do. It's in the bathroom.
and then there's Frankenstein as well.
There's a whole roll of it in the bathroom. So we didn't want the Frankenstein, and actually the Wolfman we got at Dawn's, they had a classic Wolfman, like from the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because nothing about the classic Wolfman or the Frankenstein appealed to me. And when we looked at actually it was cute because when we looked at the creature from the Black Lagoon, which I have like a connection to,
I love that.
the really sweet lady is like, "Oh, how are you going to pick between these three?" I'm like, "No, like I don't want the other two."
Like the creature from the Black Lagoon is such a romantic story.
It's such a great film
It's
too. Like
so
it holds up
beautiful.
kind of like watching a Capra film. Like it doesn't feel like you're watching some cheesy horror movie that's just supposed to be silly and for kids. It's so well shot underwater, and the lighting was so good. Like doesn't feel like a B movie, whereas a lot of the other horror movies really do feel like B movies.
So now you can dress up and go to the expo.
I never dress up when I'm supposed to. That would ruin the expo for me. I would never do that.
I stopped dressing up.
I also hate going out for Halloween, which is funny for a guy with like 15 masks.
Like you said, it's expected. So then
I'll walk down the street occasionally with a mask on, just for fun.
What?
Oh, occasionally I'll put a mask on and I'll walk down the street just for fun, just to get the mail.
I remember when you came in with your wolf person mask,
Yeah.
and I was painting, and a little voice in my head said, "Acknowledge the mask. She really wants you to see her mask." And I was also painting. And the voice said, "Don't be so difficult to say nice mask." And I didn't.
I did it.
I was a bad mask friend.
No, that's okay.
Also, maybe not acknowledging it is like acknowledging that
The
she's very
normalcy of it,
cool,
yeah.
and then it's like, oh, of course Kelly's wearing a mask. Just like, hey, Kelly, and not.
No, I was like, I don't feel like talking about the mask right now. Isn't that awful?
It's pretty sweet.
Like
that
when
you-
I go out in my
Thank you.
gorilla suit, I don't mind if people look at my gorilla suit and feel all like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm not crazy when they come up and go, "Oh, is it hot in there?" I used to print cards and I go, "Yes, it's hot in here." The thing I don't like is when I'm walking around the gorilla suit, like handing out pop cans or water or something, and people will walk by and pretend they can't see I'm a gorilla suit. Like, it's fine. You don't have to think I'm funny, but let's not pretend that I'm not in a gorilla suit. That's too much.
We can see I'm in a gorilla suit.
By the way,
I have a
nobody
little sign that I wear. It says "busy."
What?
It's a sign that I wear sometimes when I wear the suit. It says "busy," hungry, thirsty, sleepy,
Oh,
and then one that says "happy hugs." Half the time it says "busy."
that's
Wait.
funny.
you have a sign that says busy?
Dizzy. Dizzy or busy?
Busy.
Oh, I thought you said dizzy. That's funny.
Does that mean like don't bug me?
Yep.
I should get one of those for school.
The teacher is busy.
I was thinking a sign that said don't bug me.
Or take a number. Please take a number.
Yeah, just 1 second. No, seriously, just 1 second. I said no, just 1 second. Like that.
Yep.
I really like that silent movie you made.
Want to watch it again?
Well, it's really fun. So we went to.
What's funny?
Did I just move the whole table?
No, I was
Oh.
going to tell the same story you're telling.
Oh, that's fine.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. We're both excited.
We went for a bike ride to
Dawn.
Don's hobby shop, and then we thought we might go to the graveyard where Simone showed us around if we had time. And we needed a morph suit for me, and we were considering getting a morph suit for Felix because I think he outgrew his last one. So we kind of had it in our minds that we would have to buy 2 morph suits. They only had 2 morph suits. I wanted a green one, extra large, and he wanted one that would go well with Plutus. And all they had was a medium-sized purple shiny one and extra large green one. She's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any left. I just have these 2. I'm like, those are exactly what we wanted. And then so on the way out the door, and Oliver's birthday came and he needed help with the computer. I'm like, well, I only have so much money. And then I spent half that money on a morph suit. And then on the way out the door, I was feeling guilty that I bought a morph suit when I should be buying my son a birthday present. And then we saw the creature from the Black Lagoon mask. And I was like, I actually think I need to buy that. And I did. And then it just so happened because we were on bikes and we had 2 morph suits and the
Black Lagoon.
Lagoon mask is like, well, we're not far from the Black Lagoon. Let's go and shoot a film. And so we're probably 5 minutes away. And I said to Felix, okay, there's 3 of us. We're going to go have a quick picnic outside that spot where we go to. Mm-hmm. Whoever comes up with the best idea, we'll shoot their story. And then so he was working really. I could hear the wheels turning in his head. I don't think you were just bike riding.
I was literally just trying to survive.
They never do my story.
No, I was trying to survive.
Then we got there and did the story. And then we had all the right stuff. And the funny thing is you were wearing like a print t-shirt, which would have kind of ruined the shot. But you happen to have a hoodie when you tied it around your neck. It worked perfectly to cover up the print t-shirt.
Yeah.
So it worked out over and over again. Do you know somebody that would want a dinosaur picture? I didn't really think this one through in terms of like where it should go. Do you like it?
I like it.
Good. I did one.
I believe in dinosaurs. I like the T-Rex. I like his arms.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a pile of paintings that are waiting for letters to come. And when the right people come, we're going to just start mailing them out.
Also, we have a stack for you, Theo, too. Rich has been cropping down some for your beautiful books.
Yeah. Aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
That was a good painting.
What's another theme for this week?
Taboos, terrain, turmoil.
I'm painting a taboo.
Speaking of paintings, the 3 that you have sent me, they're all in books of stuff now.
That's amazing.
No, it's glue.
That's glue.
What kind of glue do you like?
I used to buy Staples glue sticks, but they changed the formula so that basically they'd fall apart and you'd use them all in 3 seconds flat. So, and I wrote them saying, what did you do to your formula, you stupid morons? And we haven't done anything. I said, okay, that's fine. So I've been buying Yoo-Hoo since. They work fine.
You know, my dad's a draftsman, and he showed me this one thing. It's in my book. And when the kids like don't know me and I want to impress them, like not when I want to impress them, but when I want them to take me seriously, I ask them, do you know how to use a glue stick? And universally they go, yeah. And I go, why don't you just show me? And they're like, I don't have one. I'm like, well, just pretend. And so they'll let's say they took this is a paint tube, okay? And let's say they took a paint tube and they're going to use a glue stick. They go, well, you just stick the glue down, you move it around, and then you pick the thing up and you stick it to the paper. I'm like, and then it peels off the next day. They're like, yeah. And like, so it's kind of a stupid thing. They're like, yeah. And so I explained to them this, something my dad explained to me, because he was a draftsman. He did this for a living, is you put the glue on the thing you want to glue. Then you have to put the glue on the paper that you're gluing it to. And then you stick the glue to the glue, not the glue to the paper. And you know this, I think, because you used to cut ruby and stuff. But you'd be surprised at how many people don't know that you need to glue both pieces of paper.
Yeah. And if you want it to be, and to make it even more, put it under a weight.
Yeah.
As well, to really flatten it down.
Yeah. What's your favorite T-bird? And don't say Grease.
My favorite T-bird?
Bird that starts with T. Oh, I got one. It's called a turkey. Boy, I find that one. Turkey vulture. Turkey vulture is pretty good looking.
Turkey vultures
are good.
That's not a T.
That's from Alberta. Did you know there's white-faced
I did
ibises
not.
in Alberta?
What?
We got to find one.
We have to find one.
Yeah, Oliver Sparks, mustache got a little high. Rich Taro.
Oh, Rich Taro.
My little boy turned 23 yesterday.
Happy birthday, Oliver.
My little girl turns 30-something.
Tomorrow.
You do lose track, eh? Probably
31?
31. That's crazy, eh? I was 23 when I became a dad. A green-winged teal?
Oh, that's nice.
Is that where the color teal comes from? Oh, a trumpeter swan.
Swan, yes, do a swan.
There's no colors.
Oh,
It
but you
works-
have blue.
It works well with the blue.
Yeah, it works well with the
Would anybody want a swan?
I think.
I like this one. The
goose.
do you remember we went to the whoa, my camera went out. What happened there? Did it heat up?
Weird.
Oh, that would be sad if it died today. We've had this camera for so long. You know what though? Want to know a thing?
I do always.
We have
Yay!
we have an extra of everything. Did you say yay because the computer came on?
Oh yeah.
That is not the camera.
That's
This is the camera.
Yay!
I gotta start over from scratch. We have an extra of everything because when we're doing
Events.
all the COVID stuff,
Or yeah.
we needed to have backups, and so part of me can't wait until till everything runs out and I can start afresh, anew. The flesh saver. Okay, so we went to Chicago on my way to go see my show, which was in
Carbondale.
Illinois. And we got picked up in a cab, and I asked the cab driver, because some Canada geese went by, and I said to the cab driver, "Hey, what do you guys call that?" And he goes, "That's a geese. Those are goose.
Those are goose.
Those are geese." I go, "But what kind of geese are they?" And they go, "They're just geese." I go, "No, those are Canada geese." I said this to the cab driver in Chicago, and he said, "Don't be silly. It's just a goose." And I was like, "No, that's a Canada goose." He never heard of Canada goose before. And then we went to
What a silly goose.
He's never met one before. You know, he'd be calling them murder chickens otherwise.
Exactly.
And then, no, they were flying right over top. And but then we went to the Natural History Museum in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they had a whole bird section. And then they had one that looks just like ours. And guess what they called it?
Canada goose.
Right. And I was like, I'm going to phone that cab driver and give him a piece of my mind.
And show him a picture of a Canada goose.
Here's your chi in one of
Oh, look.
my books of stuff.
Look up stuff. That's a good one. I love that, Theo.
Yeah.
Thanks for spreading that awesomeness.
And I think the postcard beside it is in print of a reproduction of an Aubrey Beardsley. Certainly looks like it, but there's no what do you call it? No name, nothing on it.
That's fine. Mystery.
Mystery. But I'll go with Aubrey.
Lovely.
I have a cute story. We went to go visit my aunt the other day. And I think like the way my family goes is that my grandparents had a lot of neat stuff. And then when anybody goes to visit my aunt, because they just sort of like liquidated her house and put a bunch of stuff into storage, everybody's like, "Ooh, when you go to heaven, can I have this?" And I don't know why I think that, but like it seems to be kind of a family trait. Like Robin still comes over and she's like, "Dad, when you pass, can I have your record player?" I'm like, "Sure, if I pass." But anyways, my aunt had remembered from like 1,000 years ago that I wanted the amber. She's got like amber with like actual
Bugs in it.
prehistoric mosquitoes in it. And that I remember seeing from like before the first Jurassic Park. Like I had an aunt who collected things, and one of the things she collected was amber that had mosquitoes. And I was like, "Ooh, can I have one?" She's like, "Over my dead body." That's what she said like a lifetime ago. And now she's starting to think about her dead body and said, "Yeah, when my body is dead, you can have my amber." So it was really sweet that she remembered that, and I think she wrote it into her will. But then on top of that, she started talking about these shells. And I'm like, how old was I when I told her I wanted the amber? Because I'm sure I haven't wanted shells for quite some time. I can't even imagine like who this kid was that wanted her like seashells.
That's really cute.
Right. I must have been really young, but like, and I kind of remember the amber, but I must have been like in my, single digits when we had this conversation.
Aw. Auntie Penny.
It is pretty sweet that she remembered that was a value to me, though. I appreciate that. Well, that wasn't very exciting. My duck painting, that happened pretty quick.
Can you not move it for a bit and just let it?
Except when I want to do more paintings.
Can we just talk and like, can you let that
trying to distract me?
I just love it so much.
Okay, tell you what I'll do. I'll paint some trees or something on the other side of the shore.
I'll hold it down so it doesn't.
No, just leave it.
But it was lifting. It's sitting so beautifully.
Theo, you missed our creature from the Lost Black Lagoon.
No, I think he was here.
Oh, yeah, he was here when I started it.
Yeah.
We have quite an epic tale building with Felix and the Isle of Lost Hero X as well.
I was answering your question or your statement, but I had my mute on. Yeah, I did see it. I was trying to find the studio link, and I caught it on YouTube. It's pretty good.
Yay!
I wonder why do you get so much trouble with the studio link?
Oh, I didn't. It's just finding it.
No.
Usually sometimes you send it. There hasn't been consistency. Sometimes I find it on YouTube. Sometimes I find it on, you send it to my text, a number. And today it was Kelly. So, I blunder around a lot.
Do you ever wonder if I'm consistent in the sense that I'm inconsistent?
Yeah, that's right. Your consistency or your inconsistency is extremely consistent. Thank you. Yes.
See, I was going to say,
that's like my bowling.
But you can count on me not being consistent, which is
there. You go. Yeah, I don't begrudge the fact that I have to try 2 or 3 times. So not a biggie.
Keeps you on your toes.
That's right. Exactly.
Starts with T.
Oh, I should put a toe in this painting somehow. How will I do that? Toast. Okay, I'm going to do something daring. I don't actually know what its feet look like.
Oh, that's so amazing. Little flappers under the water.
Why I oughta. Theo, this week we're going to send a painting to Dawn's Hobby Shop.
Where's that?
On
16th Avenue.
Center Street, yeah.
And we're going to also send a painting to Shelf Life because we love them too.
Yep.
And you were right. Don't move the painting. Oh, look it. They're all.
Did you lay it flat?
They're all chickens.
They are all chickens. Time travel.
Okay.
Turmoil.
Yeah. Okay. We went and picked up this book at a book signing, but we didn't have the energy to stay at the book signing, so we just busted in and then busted out. Know what I'm saying? And then we got this book called Calgary's Best Walks, and it's signed by the author,
by Lori Beatty.
And this is a place we went to. Actually, this would have been handy because I remember the day we went on this walk and we scoured the entire Nose Hill Park looking for the medicine wheel. And on the way out, when we went back to the car, we tripped on it.
There it is.
Here's another walk with some purple flower lilies. What are those?
Lupus.
And then this is obviously in Kensington, I think. Yes.
Yeah, and that's a local painter that did the artwork.
And here's where you can go get some alcoholic drinks, which we don't do anymore.
And another local painter.
Is that in Nose Hill Park? I think so.
I think she describes it in there too.
Sure. And then there's some signs like where you can have dogs and
I love the legends of the images.
I will say this book is particularly well organized. So we go on a lot of walks, and I was really excited about finding out that there's all these places we could go to that we haven't been before.
Like secret
things that we had not discovered. Only there aren't places we haven't been before in here. But
yeah, there are. Look. Did you look at all? Like, look. There's some in the northeast, the southeast.
No, we've explored all these places. We're good explorers. So look at Cochrane, the Glenbow Ranch. That's actually a place I want to go to.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice when there's accidents on the 1A, and it's huge and it looks awesome. And I only ever see it when the cops are like, "Get out of here, go that way, go that way."
So you're just getting yelled at. It's very strange.
Well, you know what? The last 2 times it was Officer Nathan, who's this, what do you call them again? The
SRO?
SRO at my school. And, you know, I actually...
Officer Nathan? Sorry, that's so funny.
Okay, Officer Nathan's my bro.
Okay.
Do you know why? Do you know why we're so tight?
What?
Because Officer Nathan and I are both artists, and he is a police sketch artist.
That is so cool.
I know. So we actually had a drawing, a sketch off one time with the kids.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and every time he comes by, he wants to talk about art, and I love that. And so, but the other thing is, the last 2 times I was driving back from Calgary, and the world got weird because there was accidents. I saw the lights, and then I immediately tense up because there's usually like a cop there, like scowling and having a bad day. He's like, "Just get over there, just get over there." And then both times it was Officer Nathan. He's like, "Kind of sucks for me too." And so the expression on his face really lightened the pressure.
That sounds like a Richard Scarry book. Everyone's in their cute little like cars, and then Officer Nathan's like, "Have a good day, guys."
Yeah, no, it was just like that. And then so I got to the school, and I asked my principal. I said, "Would you guys mind sending Officer Nathan or Officer Nathan's supervisor a thank you, because I'm so grateful. I'm so incredibly grateful for his presence when he was directing traffic on both occasions. It wasn't a fluke. It was both times." So I do like this book quite a lot. I have 2 complaints.
There's a bunny sculpture.
My one complaint is on the downtown map, it literally cuts off at Loophole and does not show where Rumble House was. Like, here's the end of the universe, Loophole. And it's like, right. Can't get no satisfaction. And then the other one is, it does have the Douglas Fir Trail. And on the Douglas Fir Trail, it doesn't show the abandoned, rusted out gangster car. There's an abandoned, rusted
Model
out
A?
Husk. Well, we don't know what it is, actually.
Right.
It looks like something you would imagine.
Could be a Ford Windstar. No, I'm just kidding.
It's something, and it's ancient. It's got a very similar shape to one of those old Model A's, but it could be anything. And it's such a weird spot. Like, there must have been some teenagers joyriding a car and rolled it off the edge of the cliff 100 years ago. And it's just sitting there, and it's actually so well preserved, right? Even the people like that are hard living in that forest haven't taken advantage of ruining this old abandoned. And we were just walking, and this guy comes by and he says, "If you take 2 steps that way, you're going to see something special." I was like, I've fallen for that before.
Sounds like a Bugs Bunny episode if I've ever
like
heard.
I was like 17. I was in Bragg Creek, and this dirty hippie, not that I have anything against hippies, but this dirty like hippie had one of those hippie school buses, and me and my girlfriend were walking through the parking lot, and he's like, "Hey, you guys want to see what's in the back of my bus?"
Oh my God.
I was like, "No." And he asked us like 4 times, and then he started following us, and then I crashed my car into a truck because I was looking at the hippie like running at the car. Do you remember when we went to Venice Beach?
Yeah.
And I looked around and I saw these people that we're living with, and they lived in vans, and they were on Venice Beach, and they're making paintings and selling them. And I was like, can you imagine what it would be like to be a hippie? And you're like, dude, you live on Venice Beach and you're trading paintings for good deeds. Dude, I did have short hair though.
You did. You were not a long hair.
And no stripes and socks. So I wasn't a hippie, but I was pretty close.
Right.
Okay. So we really enjoyed that book. Kind of wish they had the building for the Rumble House on the map. And lastly, I wish they had the car.
Right.
Cheap viewers on streambo.com. Why would I want cheap viewers? I only want viewers of the highest quality. Thank you very much. No, thank you. Okay.
I think transformation or tranquility or turmoil. Something. I'm thinking of. Oh, where's your A to Z art book?
Photo. Papa. Isn't it funny that both Oliver and Felix wanted mustaches?
That's funny.
Or is it? Is that what funny means? Maybe it's not what funny means. Hey, Theo, want to see our new space movie? No.
Certainly.
Oh, thank you. Forget how to show it. Here
It'll
we
be
go.
good, though.
What?
Better be good though.
Ooh, that gives me pause. All right. I might show last week's and this week's, or no, I'll just show this week's.
It's building on a concept.
Yeah. I'm just going to show this week's.
Nice.
Hurt me, are you? Yes? No. Okay, so are you gonna hurt me? Okay, do you know where my family is? Are they in danger? Are we there yet? Oh, okay.
That was good.
Can I tell you, I was just having that moment of doubt, like, does anybody get what's happening? And then you laughed and said it was good, and I felt so relieved. Kelly, thank you for that.
Can't wait for the next one now.
Wait till you find out what the next one is.
Did Felix do what you were asking him to do? Pardon me, what the wolf guy was asking him to do.
He's on the right track, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I understood him to be telling Felix that he should remember to clean his room.
I think, okay, that's, you know what?
Maybe my understanding of wolfish is limited, though.
You know, but that's actually that it fits in the premise of how we're working with Dead Kevin. And then the wolf doesn't speak, but only through the chicken by yes and no.
Right.
And I think like one of the things we really love about when we have a binder like of what the philosophy of the Isle of Roux and Lost Hero X is all about. And it really always comes down to like leaving space for the audience to bring their own experience to what they want to interpret. And that's really funny because as a young person, there's two things I absolutely loathed, which I'm just warming up to now. And the two things I loathed the most were I did not like collage, and actually really bothered me the blockout poems, which Jess has really embraced blockout poetry, and Mark really embraced collage. But those two things stressed me out because like I invested in learning how to draw. Right, I go to art class and like now I'm supposed to cut things out. So it was just too easy for me to do that. And then I have like all these ideas bubbling in my head all the time. So then we're doing blockout poetry and everybody's good at poetry. Like it really stressed me out. But then when I saw Bob Dylan using it,
cut up and
cut ups. I do think like the assumption that you can like take a shortcut and make a poem appear by taking like, say if you take a really poetic book and do a blockout poetry, it's going to be a different poem than if you use Sports Illustrated or something, right? But I like the abstract nature of leaving that chaos and space for the viewer to interpret it. And so that's something that David Bowie does that I admire. Bob Dylan does that I admire. Miles Davis does. So it's always about the space between the notes. And I'm really trying to get less literal and allow room for the Wolfman to say whatever you want him to say, you know? And so I appreciate that interpretation for sure.
Totally. You want to see a neat fish?
yes.
Yeah. And also, if you ever say want to see
Oh
an
my
fish
gosh.
to anybody and they say no, kick them in the nads.
That's
Oh, well. This is by an artist down in Sacramento. Mike Dickow is his name. He's does lots of everything. I know him through mail art. And anyway, that's one of his fishies. He does lots of fishies.
Hey,
They're pretty neat. I really like them.
When we
that's
do our loop,
beautiful.
when we do our loop in the summer, we should cross-reference where you do your mail art. Are mail art people welcome to like Ding Dong DoorDash? Like, can we ring the bell and say hello?
I don't know that if that is acceptable to a lot of people, but you know, I could give you names and phone numbers and email addresses, and you could write them.
Yeah, or like maybe like we'll just drop things off. Or no, I guess I get what you're saying. Like you don't want to give away phone numbers. I don't give away phone numbers either.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah. Well, basically, I'll ask people down there.
Well, can we take a look at the loop and see if anything's on our way?
The loop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're taking a loop.
Oh, okay. You're driving down there, in other words.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're taking a loop through the Americas, and I know that's not a popular thing to do right now, but
I was just going to say, you Putin lover, you.
No, we just do whatever we want.
First of all, I personally believe there's a lot of decent Americans.
Yeah.
Oh, there is. At least 49.9% of them that voted anyway.
Right, and Theo, about 49% of the Albertans I like too.
Exactly. Although I think it's I don't know. I forget what the popular vote was overall in our province. But there are definitely some folks that I seriously hope are suffering buyer's remorse now. But I don't hold out because those folks are, you know, you slap them in the head with reality and they choose to not believe it anyway. So
I feel like I like Alberta. I don't agree with all Albertans. I do like America. We're going to go.
America's a great place. I got lots of relatives, including two beautiful kids and 3 beautiful grandkids.
Oh, really?
We'll play Ding Dong DoorDash. And so we're going to go into America. We're pretty much sticking to the blue states. And we're going to Disneyland, which is pretty damn revolutionary. And then we're going to hit art gallery.
Yeah. Sorry.
We're going to hit art galleries and and natural history museums all the way. So we're going to see a natural history museum in Provo, a natural history museum in
Pocatello?
Pocatello. We're going to see a neon sign museum in Vegas. We're going to stop and eat lunch with some aliens in Baker. We spent 3 days in Disneyland. Then we're going to hit the Getty, and then we're going to hit the MoMA in San Francisco. And we're like Canadian food the whole time. And we're not going to do anything, but we and it's funny because we had planned this before shutting down the gallery. It's like, how are we when we're shutting down the gallery last summer? We're like, it's going to be a bit of a chaos shutting the gallery down, and that first summer without the gallery is going to be a bit weird for us. And so also we haven't been able to take a trip longer than 4 days.
5 to 4 days.
4 days over the last 12 years. So we're taking a road trip, and I'm not making any apologies. I will buy Canadian fruit the whole way, but yeah, we're gonna go to the States.
I'm dragging on you.
What?
He's just dragging on you.
Well, it is kind of funny to live in Alberta and be judgy of California, right? Because they're actually way more than we are.
Although, admittedly, Governor Newsom is a twat waffle.
Isn't that where Reagan came from?
Pardon? Yeah, that's where Reagan came from. Yep.
Pardon me. There's certain things about American politics and their history, and how the Democrats and the Republicans sort of shifted and switched spots.
Yeah, you could make that argument in a few ways, but since the 60s, really, the Republicans have drifted ever more rightward, we'll call it. And for a while, they were still conservatives in the traditional sense of the word. But once Reagan came, they became neoliberal, free market, rabid dogs, and they won. So they've succeeded in destroying America. And we're watching it happen right now. The culmination, that's what Trump's managing to do. Is tear apart the country. I never thought I'd see the day where America got destroyed from within, but they elected someone into the POTUS that is doing exactly that. And he's doing it illegally. And everyone else is being a good German and just saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, instead of just shooting him in the head. Figuratively speaking, using the law, of course. Yes, but apparently, laws only apply to poor people.
That's always been the way, though.
Well, America used to make a point of, crushing the odd, wealthy dipshit, but not anymore. Yeah, you can buy your way out of anything now. And of course, it's not a new trend. The Catholic Church used to sell absolution, for all your sins.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do? Oh, really? Yeah, murdered 12 peasants. Well, okay. Build us a new church, and we'll see to it that you get into heaven. Not a problem.
Yeah.
I went through and I started deleting some of my social media posts over the last 12 years. Just in case I get my phone searched over the border.
Well, just empty your phone. You can do that. They back up.
It's also funny because we're planning to broadcast our Isle of Roux from San Francisco. I think is where we'll be when we get there.
Ooh, cool. Do you have? What was I going to say?
A rocket?
There's, if they just make sure that you've got all your answers correct, and they're not going to accuse you of, oh, you're going down to do work. No. Oh, well, you've got all this stuff. How come? Well, that looks like stuff you could do work with, So hopefully it won't come to that.
No work will be done.
Because...
Well, we're going to be doing the Isle of Roux light. on the trip, so it might
There we go.
from cell phones.
From our phones, yeah.
There we go. Beauty.
The first time we went to Venice Beach, we had a whole van full of art supplies, and
Yep.
the border's like, "You're not selling art, are you?" And we're like, "No." It's like, "What are you going to do with it?" We're like, "We're going to give it away." And he's like,
Give me that orange.
Is that? Yeah, he ate my apple.
Or apple.
I watched him in the rearview mirror bite into the apple that he took away from me. I was like, "You bastard." Those guys don't even pack a lunch, you know. They're just like, "Oh, I'll find somebody with one of those Canadian apples." You know what I'm going to do this time?
Buy American?
No.
No.
I'm going to drive the last 50 kilometers before I hit the border with an apple in my armpit.
Ooh.
Go ahead and take my apple again. Oh, is that salty? Too bad. Maybe next time pack a lunch. Okay, I'm also going to delete this broadcast.
I'm going to say,
Keeping it positive, Teru.
Whatever. They're going to go after Theo before they go after me.
no way. I am the milk of human kindness.
You guys are both funny.
Okay, yeah, I've been doing drugs lately. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Have you?
Well, they're the headache pills, you know. I missed bowling on Monday because of a lovely headache. And sadly, the drugs didn't work.
Are they migraines?
I don't know what they are. It's a very specific kind of headache. It comes and goes. I think it might be weather related.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was some weather change happening that day. But, yeah. Just a nice little, when it's bad, a nice little, not so little pulsing above my right eye.
You can tell it's a migraine if you catch yourself taking your thumbs and trying to press them into your skull.
Yeah, I've had relatives and other friends who've had migraines, and I've even, seen my aunt when she had migraines, and yeah, she basically could only fucking lie on the ground on the bed and just try not to move.
Try running a rumble with a migraine.
Why?
Well, yeah, but if you've got a migraine, nobody would know the difference anyway. Come on.
That's directed at me. I'm not sure what that means, but it doesn't sound like a compliment.
Oh, no, it's totally a compliment.
Totally a compliment.
So, the other thing is that I do have a weird energy, and I know this about myself. And when Jess has a migraine, she's like, "I love you. You need to go sit over there." She's like, she can feel the pulse of me ebbing in her brain when I'm nearby and she has a migraine.
There you go.
Look at this painting, Theo.
Yes?
Look at this.
Ooh.
This is a painting about what I didn't show.
Aha. I saw a picture of the creature from the Black Lagoon with it was a film still. Well, it wasn't a film still. It was the studio lot of the creature with the woman who was the heroine in the thing. Anyway, they were both in a loving embrace, and I kind of thought that was pretty cool.
That's sweet. I thought it was a very loving
it's a little
film.
Too close to home for me. You know what I mean?
My creature.
I see a monster and a beautiful woman, and I feel called out.
No.
Yeah, I do. Don't you diminish my experience. You don't know what it's like to be an uggo.
You're not. You're beautiful.
I do really associate though with the monsters and the beautiful girl. That's me and that's my jam. So we have a good solid rack of masks over there too.
A rack o' masks. Ooh.
You're gonna have to rearrange your house a little bit and get rid of some motorcycle helmets. Actually, the motorcycle helmets. We have more motorcycle helmets than we wanted because of the masks too.
Why don't you put the masks on the wall?
Because we don't have any wall space.
Also that.
You don't need that much wall space.
We don't have any wall space.
Then put them on the ceiling.
Just staring
Our
down.
ceiling. Well, okay, I should tell you this because you probably think I'm being difficult, but we live in this. We live in the sketchiest building in the city with an amazing view. Want to see the view? And the tough part, though, is that the walls are all concrete, so that's nice because we don't have to listen to the neighbors being weird. But can you see out the window?
Blown out.
No.
The curtain.
In the summer at nighttime, we'll have the windows open. I think it'll be very nice. Not so much during the sunset. Oh, I've just rebuilt the set. It's like magic. Or if I do three or four paintings a week, and people don't start sending us the fan mail, we're gonna get buried by paintings one day. Did we find a home? Oh, Kelly.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for you letting me buy back my which is the painting we kept.
The unicorn. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I haven't gotten to Walmart yet.
Maybe I'll do another unicorn since I have time.
Harpy, manticore.
You want me to paint a harpy, Jesse? I'll paint you a harpy.
Be like, hey, that looks a lot like me. I love the harpy in that scene in The Last Unicorn. Oh, I love that story.
Most of my masks are hanging up by thumbtacks.
Oh, yeah.
On the wall.
Are you showing us?
No.
Take us on a tour.
Ugh.
A 3-hour tour.
It's messy. I haven't gotten to them. They're kind of hanging all over the place. Some of them are not hanging. So I got these special little things to mount them on the wall. They're tiny little wire things.
I think. Oh, I cut you off. This is totally not related to anything. I think at Christmas with the Isle of Roux, we'll show the Christmas movie. And around that time, I want to have an evening where we watch all of the Lost Hero back to back.
That'd be fun.
There's 15 of them so far. And if they're like 2 to 7 minutes.
There's probably like 17 actually, because there's 4.5 and 5.
Yeah, I bet you there's like an hour's worth. That'll be fun. Or not. Maybe it'll be really weird.
I think it'll be fun.
It's hard to get the numbers of how many people are with us these days because we get such weird numbers. And then the other thing is the way that the feedback comes back is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, StreamYard is all expecting like 1 to 2 minute videos, and we have a 2.5 hour video. But I've been using some metrics and cross-referencing some things, and I think in the span of a week, we're getting around 8,000 viewers. It might be around a much lower number of people that are watching all 2.5 hours, but people that are like tuning in watching is around 8,000 people.
Yeah, throughout the week.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool, hey?
Yeah.
I'm surprised so many people are watching it when we're not live. That's actually kind of weird to me. It almost defeats the purpose of doing it live. But maybe what I'm hoping is that the quality of the liveness of it maybe gives it a different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's something about Saturday Night Live that's pretty special. And maybe like it doesn't matter if you're watching it live so much as it was recorded where that pressure.
Exactly.
Can I draw a unicorn out of my head? Can I?
Yes.
It's a big risk. It's a big ask. It will have a big butt.
I feel like you can really, there's lots of room for interpretation with unicorns because of the, like, like you're telling me the story this morning, and then there's like the illuminated manuscripts, and then there's like I don't know, there's so many like mythologies around it.
Was I telling you about the giant
Yeah.
rhinoceros of Russia
Yeah.
on the Russian steppe?
Yeah.
And how it was really just a giant rhinoceros.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, when you think about it, like, I'm always surprised how like biblical people argue with science people, because really it could be all the same story, right? Yeah. It could be that the flood happened 40,000 years ago. The entire planet was covered with precipitation because snow fell in countries where it didn't used to, right? And it could be that the unicorn didn't make it onto the whatever ship it was because it was a giant
rhinoceros,
Siberian rhinoceros, yeah. And so, like, you know, in Africa, they talk about the hippo being the water horse, right? And so, like, if you went back to Europe and you're like, what did you see? It's like, well, it was a horse, but it had a single horn on its head. And then so in translation, you'd have these like mixed sort of like mythologies. Mm-hmm. You know, the gorilla was like Bigfoot up until 1905. It was like a myth that people like talking about these hairy men that lived in the forest. And it wasn't until they actually captured one and then gave it a homogeneous, what's it called? The
like scientific recognition.
All the names.
Like,
that they realized, oh, this is actually like a real thing. And so, you know, people speculate whether Bigfoot's real. That's because nobody's actually recorded one scientifically, but perhaps once they find it, it's not even a big deal. Like the mimic octopus really blew my mind.
Yeah,
octopus that can turn into 12 different animals. And it's not a myth, it's like a real thing. That's pretty neat. And then, but once you see it, you're like, yeah, of course there's an octopus that can kill animals. Or like if you talk about how like octopuses, in some ways they're smarter than humans in the sense that an octopus in the span of the 1 year they live can learn almost as much as a child.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty. It has to have those tufts by its ankles.
Got tufts.
And it has to have a little.
It's got long legs or off the page.
Flowing mane.
Oh, I totally forgot the mane. It's funny. Like this started out kind of looking like Alien, and then you put the mane on. It's like suddenly it's My Little Pony.
It's so magical. What are you going to put in the background?
Trees, but like weird trees.
Yeah, because it's her. It's
Theo, I muted you not because I don't love you, because I do love you, but I muted you because your tape was so loud. Was it tape? Are you?
It's okay.
Just letting you know, because sometimes when I mute people and they're talking to me, they take it personally. Where's Zach Abbott? This is one of those.
Look down there. Is that? Scroll down. No, maybe that's.
Sucking was Zach Abbott all this time.
Oh no, there's just an extra block, I think, for invite. No, stop! Don't click on things you can't see. Where's Cheru?
I can do it.
I said scroll. Look, I said present, or invite. You're right. That was the theme today. We're here because we need to be able to do what we want.
We went to visit Dr. John, which was really nice.
And Linda.
We showed him what we're doing, Dr. John and Linda. And he looked mortified. And I hope he was just like
processing.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, maybe he looked. I hope he wasn't disappointed.
No, I don't think so at all.
But it is weird what we're doing, so it's really hard to interpret what people are thinking when they see what we're doing. Because I do think people are expecting something different than what we're doing. All right, this is my favorite unicorn I ever did. Don't muck it up. Don't overdo it. Don't muck it up. I love it. Do you like it?
I love it.
Yeah, it's my new best friend.
I love it, Rich. See, and she's just walking out into her journey, and the wind starts to blow her hair.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I keep doing 6 paintings a week, and I don't make new friends to send me emails to have paintings, I gotta do
Let's
something.
Let's do 2.
Shelf life.
Split that in half.
Never. Why?
Got an idea for you guys.
No.
If
What?
you guys get too many paintings, you could take them on your trip and then hand them out to people in Disneyland.
Nah.
Oh, it's just a suggestion.
Just a suggestion.
That's a great suggestion, Kelly. I will take 25 paintings to Disneyland, and I will take pictures of everybody I give them to, and then I will send you your own. And I'm not going to show anybody but you. It'll be like I'll make you a travel journal, and that's a good idea. And I was just joking because sometimes I think I'm funny when I'm not. I will take paintings with me to Disneyland, and I will surprise people. Can they see that I'm rubbing your leg?
You can rub my leg.
I wasn't doing
You
nothing.
can rub my leg if you want.
Okay, how do I paint something
You
for
can
shelf
call me
life?
Flower if you want.
How do I paint something for shelf life?
It's Independent Book Day on April 26th.
Books.
And maybe you could do like.
It's 8:17, so this will be my last painting tonight. Yeah.
If you go slow. Go slow.
Mm-hmm.
What about like library, or you could draw all of the mythical beasts coming out of the books, or you could draw people getting saved by books, or you could draw a little boy reading the book, like when you did Billy Reads Upside Down, or you could draw like people traveling through the books, or you could draw, you know,
Theo, do you have a cold?
Runny nose.
How come you got runny nose?
Hey. Oh, sorry, I can't remember the quote. There we go.
That was good though.
Is your fridge running?
Oh.
Well, you better try and catch it.
Actually, when you said hey, it reminded me of something super funny. And I can't remember what. So I was hoping.
Between all of us for hilarious.
No, it's like one of my kids, I think, at school might have started a sentence like that. And I was really like, oh, I know where I'm taking this. And then it didn't go the way I thought it would.
Wow. Just proud of all of us for being here today. I have allergies. That's what I realized. And I started taking antihistamine every day.
You say a lot of words funny.
I noticed I say antibiotics very different. Like
Yeah.
weird. Like I think I say that by accident.
Or you think it's cute.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe my whole life is just driven by what I think is like cute. Or
My Welsh family says weird things. Like ambulance comes out almost completely inside out. I can't even remember how they do it. And actually, it seems to follow the spelling letters anyways. Only it's completely wrong.
like aluminium.
Yeah, just like that. I wish I could remember how my Welsh family says ambulance. For the amount you read, it's funny you don't have glasses.
Me?
Who else would I be talking to?
Theo?
Theo has glasses.
Oh, Kelly?
Kelly has glasses.
Oh, yeah, me. You're right. You're talking to me.
I take my glasses off to read.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Did you ever need reading glasses?
No, not yet. I've been whatever it is, long-sighted, put my hand, 15 inches away and it starts to blur.
You're not ready for bifocals.
Oh, I do wear bifocals just because there's, lots of times you'll read kind of like this, okay? And if I take my glasses off, this is just a big blur. Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't word that the way I was going to.
Okay, that's good.
Because I was going to make a crack about, like, you're not an old guy yet. And then you did.
Unfortunately, you would be wrong on that. Yes. I am. What is it? Oh, this is the 11th year of being paid to be old.
That is good. You keep it riding.
You know, there's a 2-year draw on the teacher's retirement.
So 11 is pretty good.
Yeah, 11's killing it in teacher days.
Oh, turtle as well. That's a T.
I'll put a turtle into this painting.
I love that. Toes and turtles.
I got toes.
I know.
They just happened.
I know. I was watching.
Theo, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
If I could go anywhere in the world, is there a time limit how long I can stay there?
No.
No time limit.
Yeah, well, if it's a volcano, like 3 seconds.
Yeah. There's been a lot of Mount St. Helens stuff happening because it happened. What was it? Was it May 18th when it really blew its top? But it started showing activity on end of March.
Are you talking about like now or back in the olden days?
Well, the 1980 eruption.
Right.
Yeah.
Where were you for that?
I was in Vancouver. Actually, I was living in Burnaby, still married, happily, all of that stuff. And I actually heard the boom. Didn't know what it was at the time, but it reached all the way to Vancouver.
Here's something. You were in Burnaby in 1980.
Yep.
Guess where I was in 1980?
Oh, I'm terrified to know. Let me guess. Port Coquitlam?
Not Port Coquitlam, Coquitlam.
Oh, well, there you go.
Not too far from Lougheed Mall.
Yeah. Well, then we were living pretty close because we'd walk to Lougheed Mall all the time.
Yeah, so we were on the other side of that, but it would have been a long distance phone call to phone you.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't recall paying long distance phone calls then to go to
Coquitlam to Burnaby. Also, do you remember there was a strike, garbage strike?
That's too much for my brain to handle. Too trivial, I should say, for my brain to bother remembering. I remember the beer strike.
There was rats the size of cats in all the tennis courts. It was not trivial. It was terrifying.
Yeah. Folks get pretty lazy when things don't work. Yeah. And at the same time, they complain about their taxes being so terrible.
Maybe they're different people, though.
Funny that way. Yeah.
Maybe the people that leave their garbage in the tennis courts aren't the same people that complain about taxes. I remember there was a teacher strike happening when I was getting my teaching degree, and the newscaster went to one of the schools while the parents were picking the kids up, and they asked the parent, how do you feel about paying teachers better and better money and support for the schools? And the parents are like, well, I don't want my taxes to go up. And I thought, wow, if you don't care about taxes going up, who does? You've got kids in school right now. When are you going to care?
Exactly.
You know what I say is you can build schools now or prisons later. That's how that works.
And unfortunately, the prisons, at least down in the States, that's a great money making opportunity.
Yeah.
Of course, then I suppose we shouldn't really judge them too harshly for doing that because they force people to go broke that get sick in America. So, yeah.
Not dying to get political, but I heard on the news today that Pierre Poilievre, was interested in a 3-strike situation for criminals that if they get caught once, twice, and then 3 strikes you're out. They were proposing, and I did have a thought about how that 3 strike you're out premise has some drawbacks that they've known about. Like, it's weird when something happens 50 years ago, and then they've learned that doesn't work,
And then,
they're like, hey, let's try
to understand.
Like, hey, let's try heroin. Maybe it'll make us better musicians. Like, you should know by now that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Well, there are vast aspects of society that firmly believe that if you keep making the same mistake, you'll keep doing the same thing. You'll always you're eventually going to get a different answer or a different result. It's and amazingly enough, all of those ones seem to allow people to make more money than they would otherwise. I like the comment I saw the other day regarding, I think it was Uber, but I'm not sure. It might have been a restaurant delivery, internet delivery thing in New York. Anyway, they got caught and sued for taking all of the tips that their drivers were using them and using the tip money to pay them. And so what happened? You'd say they were stealing. Absolutely no question. They were stealing. What did they have to do? Oh, they just had to pay the money back to all of the people, and nothing else. And the guy that made this comment said, of course, how come? That's intriguing. Yet if I steal, a package of smokes from a corner store, I can go to jail for that. How does explain to me the difference here? And it's, of course, the people with the money, laws don't apply to them. Yeah. And that's one way that society's gone wrong.
What would Che Guevara do?
Yeah, exactly. We haven't reached that point yet, but, I see lots of folks on the right saying, hey, let's, it's libtard season. We should be able to hunt them. It'll be nice if that comes to pass, because I think they're going to discover that, the folks that are violently anti-gun will decide, I guess we'll just have to start killing them. There's no choice in the matter because they're killing us. When you give people no choice, they eventually will break. Yeah. What was that thing called in France in 1700s? Oh yeah, the French Revolution. Yeah. Admittedly, it'll be a little tougher today, and it will definitely be a lot messier.
I was wondering today, actually, I was on the toilet when I had this thought. It was lunchtime, and I snuck to the staff room to go to the bathroom. And I was wondering to myself, would I support my kids going to war over Canada joining America? And it's a tough sell, I'm not sure I would support my kids risking their lives to fight for a flag, which is a tough one. Like, I am Canadian. I'm proudly Canadian. If it came down to it, would I want my children conscripted to fight against the Americans for the difference?
Invading us?
For the difference between being Canadian and American, or Albertan and American. I don't know that I would, encourage my kids to do that. Now, that said, I would fist fight somebody over the CBC. Like, I can see if the Conservatives canceled the CBC, that might push me over the edge into, really to knock somebody in the side of the ear. But
if America invaded us, you wouldn't?
What do you mean by invaded?
Well, they send troops across the border.
if America sent troops across the border, it would be different than, say, if there was.
Well, okay, maybe you're saying, okay, we hold a referendum and 51% of us or whatever, makes it say, yeah, we all want to become America. And the other 49% say, fuck that. Yeah, that.
Well, that would be a civil war. And I think I would have a different attitude towards a civil war than an invading war. I couldn't blame the Americans for wanting to take Alberta. I could blame the Albertans that were born here and willing to give themselves up. And so I don't have an answer for you other than I was speculating today while sitting on the throne. Where are my boundaries? What would be worth fighting for? And I actually had a very similar thought to, I think what you're asking is, I do think the referendum would leave me with more rage and violent tendencies than an invasion. I think, and okay, so here's part of where it comes from. I think we've kind of lived in the armpit of America for a while. And so, there were times when America was conscripting their soldiers and Canada wasn't. And I think that is a bit of a luxury that we've been sort of, I had an older cousin that was way tougher than me, and it allowed me to be lippier than I should have. Right. And I think as Canadians, there is a point where, if it's Canada versus America, it's really just you're taking a stance by fighting. You're going to lose. And but if it was Alberta versus Alberta, I can really see throwing some fists against somebody that was willing to vote me to be an American. But I don't have answers for you. I'm just starting the conversation for myself in my head.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not positive when it comes to my kids, right? Like those things where you're proud that you're sending one off to war to fight for the Alberta American Confederation. And I'm not positive that I would want my kids involved in that. There's things that if it was a Nazi Germany, I think me and my kids would be on our way, and my wife, and maybe the neighbor's dog if we could get him. I really respect Paul Hughes for heading out to the Ukraine, but what things I would fight for, what I consider worth fighting for. I have this trouble where. What if 75% of Albertans wanted to become America? It sucks that I live here, but I do kind of believe in a democracy. And when you believe in a democracy and, 50% of the people are stupid, you're in trouble, right? So.
Yeah, at that point, I'd definitely be leaving any province that overwhelmingly voted to become America.
Yeah, and then could we, if Alberta voted to become part of America and then we're like, no, I'm going to Saskatchewan, then do we have to apply? How does that work? It's because there's some geographic disadvantages right now to living in a place where, or maybe Saskatchewan and Alberta would be a package deal.
This is all really freaking me out. Embroidering my frog.
You also grew up in a house where it's maybe we don't talk about politics at the dinner table. Right?
No, I'm not freaking out about you guys talking about it. It's just that we live in a space and the people around us think so differently. And it's it would be like being in California and knowing that your neighbors voted for that person. You're like,
California's good.
No, but still.
We do got to pass through Montana, which will be a little just keep your head low. I'm going to actually order Mickey ears and wear my Mickey ears while we're driving down there. And people are those Alberta plates? That guy's got Mickey ears. They probably going to spend some money here. So that's my theory. That didn't take as long as I hoped.
You have to keep going.
How many minutes are left?
Ruth, it only took you 10 minutes.
I know. I'm getting faster. I am only using one color, but boy, do I ever like it. Okay, so I got a girl reading. That can go to Shelf Life.
Yeah.
I got a creature from the Black Lagoon. That can go to Dawn's. I got some dinosaurs. Who knows who's getting that? I've got the War Duck. What should I do next?
War Duck.
Yep.
Got any ideas, Theo?
For another painting?
Yeah.
Oh, that starts with a T?
Yeah. Thunderballs.
Thunderball. I don't know.
Transformation. Transcendence. Ooh, I like that.
Transformer.
Transform.
There you go. Transformers are big with the kids, I'm told.
I love that you both love that idea, but I hate Transformers.
What about Transfiguration? Transylvania.
It's not bad.
Tigers.
Tigers?
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with tigers.
Okay, I'll paint a tiger.
I was thinking about the tiger you sold the day of your book launch. Was really a beautiful piece.
I don't remember.
It was a long, skinny composition.
They don't tell. Okay. Oops.
You're not doing a tiger, or are you doing a tiger?
Tiger.
No, okay. I was going to say do a trolley. Trolleys are cool.
I can put a trolley and a tiger.
Oh,
Hey, there you go. A trolley being run by a tiger.
I can do that.
Tony the tiger likes trolleys. Yeah. What was the cereal Tony the tiger ate?
Frosted Flakes.
Right. They're great.
I never partook.
I like Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes was never part of my life. My mom did not buy cereals with sugar. I think I got to try Count Chocula once when I was at my cousin's house. Struggling to think. I did really dig the song from Sugar Smacks.
There we go.
But I never had any of those. Did you, Theo?
When I was a kid, yeah, my folks would buy me. Let's see what the ones that they had, the Sugar Pops.
Okay, how'd that go?
And
Were Sugar Pops the frog? No.
I can't remember who the animal was for Sugar Pops.
Why would they make a cereal that had the word sugar in it?
I don't know. Because at that time, folks didn't really pay attention to the fact that kids high on sugar were basically, more dangerous than meth addicts. Yeah, there was that. There was Frosted Flakes. I didn't particularly care for them. I wasn't a Corn Flakes kind of guy anyway. But I didn't mind. I didn't mind that. The ones when they came out though, when Captain Crunch came out, I was hooked with that. And the one cereal that they didn't have down in Canada, I'd make sure my parents bought some when we go down to the States, and that was Trix.
I love Trix. Also,
I think maybe when I was a kid, Trix was available for sure.
Oh yeah, it was. Yep.
I do remember there was something that wasn't available when I was a kid, and we saw them all because we had Spokane TV when I grew up, and I thought Spokane was this friggin' metropolis, and it's not. But they had a better TV station than us. I don't know how they pulled that off, but I think Spokane's kind of the size of Red Deer, and for some reason their TV station looked like they were like New York.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Well, it's funny because we don't eat cereal anymore either.
But we have cinnamon a lot.
Hey, Theo, if you were to guess what that whistling was, what do you think it is?
The whistling?
Yeah.
Was I whistling?
No, your camera's whistling.
Do you think it's like yeah?
It's some kind of feedback.
Like that?
No, not paper.
High pitched.
That.
Could be my light. It's got a bit of a hum to it, but you've never noticed it before.
No, I notice it every week.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's a high pitched whistle like a dog whistle.
It looks like Calvin.
It is. It's Hobbs.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Calvin yet.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I forgive you.
I think that when we were kids, my parents would try and get Fruity Pebbles.
Right.
And now I don't eat those anymore.
I love that, Rich. Oh my god.
Tell me if the whistling disappears.
It has, yeah.
Oh, did you mute yourself?
Yeah, I muted myself. So it must be the
Even like like you said, a light or something like.
this thing. Because it definitely hums, but yeah.
It's a whistle. I think it's let's get you a microphone. I'll buy it for you.
Well, yeah, the mic.
I know the sound. I can't remember what it is, but I know that sound, and I've dealt with it before.
Well, let's just try something. Come here. Technically, it's supposed to be using settings. Audio. No, it says it's using the MacBook Air microphone. So.
Oh, that's what it is. Do you have a microphone?
I do.
What kind of mic you got?
I don't know. It's a big ball. I think there's a 9 in it or something. Ooga booga. But yeah, there's supposed to be a mic in this camera that. But
I wonder if you should turn the mic off in your camera.
there you go.
That might be the ticket.
Good question. Let's see. Let's dig down deeper. Down, down, down to a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down.
So somewhere in my life, I might have dreamt this, but I think I saw it, was a kind of a pop version of Ring of Fire by Anne Margaret. And for the life of me, I can't find the Ring of Fire that I'm looking for. And it might not have been Anne Margaret. It might have been one of her contemporaries. But there was just this wild version of Ring of Fire that really, I like the way it sounded. And I can't find it. It's like my brain kind of remembers this. Also, almost every night, I have this dream where I've been displaced. In my dream, there's this kind of reoccurring shack that I have to move into while I'm trying to get my feet back on the ground. And the shack I move into is this kind of like, for one thing, it's got a dirt floor and it's not clean. There's like fungus everywhere. And it's a place that I can lock the door and go to sleep at night, but it's not a place where I can like count on my things not getting like gross. So the reason I had to find a new place last night in my crazy dream was I was teaching, and while I was teaching, I'd taken a break from what I was supposed to be doing, and I went for a walk to go check on something. And while I was gone, there was a fire, and some kids were burned And some of the benches that I made at Rumble House were what I made the structure out of that burned. So I wasn't surprised that it caused a fire, but I was like super stressed out because the teacher that was also there covering for me had been, this is a dream, by the way, so don't call the school board. But the teacher that was covering for me was really upset that she set this fire and we're both being written up for it. And I was like, what? Yeah, that sucks that we're both being written up for it because I wasn't here. And then so anyways, after that crazy dream, I got to school and there was a musician performing in the gym, and the musician performing in the gym was using a smoke machine. And my current VP used to be my contemporary. She was the drama teacher at my old school. And this is so funny because she said, "Hey, Rich, can you help me lift this machine?" And I was like, "Sure." So I helped her move the smoke machine from one side of the gym to the other side of the gym because they were having a school dance. And because we moved the machine, it set off the fire alarms. So this whole school had to go out into the snow, -30, while the fire trucks came. And then for some reason, everybody talked about when she and I set the fire alarms off. And I'm like, how did I get part of the story? Other than the fact that when she asked me to help to move the stuff. Just a loop.
Yeah.
Oh, Theo.
Yo.
It's your microphone. It's your speakers. That feedback is coming. I remember the sound. The feedback is coming from us being able to hear the feedback loop. So if you turn your speakers off, the whistling will go away.
Let's just go. Okay, hang on.
Or headphones would be a great idea too.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Output. MacBook Air speakers. Input. Okay, I'm just going to shut them right off now.
I do want to be able to hear you.
Oh, yeah. No, that's it. So output. Pardon me. Wrong one. MacBook Airs. Let's turn them right off. Okay, they're off now.
Oh, but he won't be able to hear us.
Can you hear us though? I guess I could ask that.
And I can't hear you.
So we ran into this early days of broadcasting, and the solution was headphones.
So that didn't work too well because now I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Did the sound go away though?
It did. So we ran into this trouble. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
We ran into this trouble when we first started broadcasting for COVID, and the solution was we put Jess on headphones. Now the problem was the headphones had a slight delay, so she would be talking and then listening for the headphone delay to stop, and she would pause, and you just have to work your way through it. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah, if I the speaker that I have or the microphone that I have is a USB, and I don't have an adapter for you. I only have one adapter for USB right now, and that's what the camera's plugged into.
How about I get you a pair of headphones with speakers?
I do have that though, so we'll try that.
The gaming speakers are really good.
I will go and see.
What do you think of my tiger and my trolley?
Oh my gosh.
I should do this for a living. I just have Phantom Walker across the room over there, and it wasn't Dead Kevin. Did you?
No.
Okay, well, keep that in mind when we go to sleep tonight. There's a phantom in the house.
What did it make you feel? What did it make you feel?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, like was it like a ominous phantom, or was it like
Sneaky.
oh, that made me scared.
Yeah, no, you don't ask me what I felt because I felt bad.
Oh. I guess phantom would be a bad word, and then if you saw like a cute specter, you'd be like, "Oh, there was a cute specter over there," and it'd be like, "Boop."
Hang on a second. I muted Theo, and I think my ear's starting to hear the squeak on its own. Do you hear the squeak?
No.
Oh. Okay, the squeak is gone. My brain is like
My brain squeaks on.
stuck squeaking. Yeah. Where did my book go? Did you take my book?
No.
My book or white paper?
No, I did not take it.
What's behind me? Are you flexible enough to get that?
Oh my gosh, Rich.
What?
They're all really beautiful.
No, I'm good at art.
Do you want me to get your dinosaur one and then you get more colors?
No,
Because your dinosaur one.
no, I like it. I'm just gonna paint with blue for the rest of my life. It's my blue period. I'm suffering. Not really suffering. Okay.
Here. How it's 8:52. I don't know why I said here. I didn't
You were
have
gonna
it.
say something interesting.
No,
Yeah, you were.
I thought I was going to, and then I don't know.
How's the noise now?
Better.
Oh, it's so good.
What
Like-
did you do?
Well, I plugged in. I'm using a head. Well, hang on. Settings. Yeah, change camera. Okay, so I have these things and they've got a mic.
Nice.
And I've set everything up. Now the question is, I'm going to have to do some rearranging because I don't think the cord's long enough.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm going to have to put, and here's where it will go. Creak. It will have to be here now. And yes, still not the best, but that's the closest it's going to get.
Theo,
So,
do you have a favorite musician?
not really. There's just, there's too many. My brain doesn't remember names. So it's always, let's just see. Who do I really love right now that I can think of? Carter Felker. Let's see. Forbidden Dimension. Mostly if you're asking me who do I like best right now, Calgary artists are my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably
Who's your favorite Calgary band?
well, again, you see, you're asking the impossible for me. I'd have to think I know who I want to say, but can I bring up the name in my head? No. And I don't even think they're around anymore.
Dudes.
No, they had kind of a cowboy name, but they definitely weren't playing Western music.
Fire and Red?
No. Yeah, then again, it's just yeah.
Please don't say Sugar Baby.
This is why when I did a radio show, I scripted everything because there was no way I was going to pull it out of my head. So, yeah.
Did I tell you about the generation gap between me and the kids I teach?
Yeah, okay. Yes, there definitely should be a generation gap. Yeah.
For the most part, there wasn't until recently. But the biggest thing was that nowadays, when I ask a kid what they're listening to, they seem shocked, and they'll say like music, and then I'll be like, no, but like, what are you listening to? And they're like, I'm listening to music. And I'm like, but what music are you listening to? And they'll be like, Spotify, it's a playlist. And they say it with such disdain, like, why would I ask what they're listening to?
Well, you gotta tell them, that's too generic. What genres do you like? And then they'll have to actually think.
I find they're not interested in who is recording the music. They're interested in how the music sounds and how it makes them feel, which is in a way kind of pure, and I can kind of respect.
Yep.
There's no hero worship. It's just straight up like, no, I like the music I like, and I don't care who made it. And that seems kind of free and liberating. And I always try and imagine like what the old weird guy sounds like to like, oh, he thinks I need to memorize the playlist before I can listen to it. So I like that they have that freedom and autonomy to just listen to sounds that make them happy. I like they have conversations about who's listened to the most music, so that like that's a thing that if you're like at the end of the year, the Spotify
it gives you a list all everything that you listen to. Yeah.
Or just a time number like reflects to having listened to 1 million hours of music.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a generation. Now I remember the first generation gap I really encountered was when I was teaching at the school I'm at now, the first year, the grade 11s and 12s would use Facebook to communicate. The grade 10s were like, Mr. Teru, only my grandparents use Facebook. And they had a deep disdain for anybody still using Facebook. Back then, we were using, what was the one that the stuff would disappear after a couple? Snapchat.
They still use that.
Snapchat does the opposite of what I would expect social media to, what I would want it to do.
Do you think that's kind of like part of the scary part of why they like it is that they can do crazy things and then it's like gone? Like
I don't try and think about stuff like that.
I guess I don't.
But I also like I found like, we might have sold more art if we focused on Twitter instead of Instagram, right? Like I like Instagram because I'm going to talk to other artists in a visual manner. But if we were interested in selling stuff, we should have focused on Twitter and become Twitterers. But I swear, for every 100 times I posted on Facebook or Instagram, I would remember to post on Twitter, once every 6 months or so. So that's in the thousands.
Yeah. You know what I hate? And I hated from the absolute minute it became a thing.
What?
Music videos.
Oh.
And at the bowling alleys now, you get they're always playing music, and lots of times though, instead of just the music, you'll also get the video that they had for that particular music.
How at the bowling
alley? And pardon?
There's TVs.
Oh yeah. Everything in a bowling alley now is on a big screen. Your scores, everything. But between your score screens, you've got other screens that are showing because that's a big thing about especially about the way the bowling alleys now work is people come in and bowl with black lights and glitter balls and loud music, right? And videos to go to boot with it. And everyone likes it. But why I've always not liked music videos is because my brain can't handle rapid frame changes. Don't like that. And the fact that, for the most part, if they do make a video, they're telling a story that makes absolutely no frigging sense. They're jumping between, pictures of World War II and then, the lead singer's, nostrils, things like that. And it's just, I'm glad other people like it. Obviously, it's hugely successful. And everyone in the music industry seems to believe that you've got to have a video to go with your song. So folks like it. But yeah, it's interesting that you say all of the kids in school now they do Spotify, which means, does Spotify do videos at the same time? No, I don't. They're not listening. They're just listening to the music, as opposed to getting music and a video image happening at the same time. So that's pretty cool. I like that. They're actually listening as opposed to being, what's the alpha brain state that we get into when we are watching videos. Yeah.
Zombieism.
Yeah, zombieism. You're again, it gets back to, you listen to a radio show, your brain is supplying all of the imagery.
Yeah.
Watching television, your brain's the parts of it have shut down and it's just absorbing. And yeah.
I very rarely watch TV. If the TV's on, I'm almost always drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see what's happening. What I did find was funny, though, is a lot of times when I would watch TV when I was younger, if I was single and I was in an apartment by myself watching TV, I might have a channel on for months before I glanced up. There was a Robaxa set commercial on Much Music, and I had no idea what the commercial was about. So I'd hear it over and over and over again. But it wasn't until I finally looked up and there was like this wooden doll with a pin in its back that I was like, well, it did not make sense to me in context of just listening.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't listen to Spotify.
I do have another little generational thing, Theo.
Yep.
It might be a while since you've looked, but I don't know that there still are videos anymore, other than the bowling alley. Like there isn't like a music channel that plays them, and I think it's kind of been maybe about a decade since bands kept making videos. Or
oh no, you're wrong there. But it's interesting what they do play for the most part. At the bowling alley is it falls into the category of fossil rock.
Right.
You're getting videos from the 80s, for goodness sakes.
I know, but I'm not wrong in the sense.
And the 90s.
Other than the bowling alley, I don't know where else people would see videos.
YouTube.
Yes.
If you're seeing
there's YouTube, I guess.
YouTube, it's because you look them up.
You look them up, yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not trying to be difficult. I kind of like the videos. So if there was a channel where
I grew up on Much Music.
Yeah, if there's a channel where I could still put videos on and watch them, I probably would.
So let's see. Well, there you go. I didn't know things like Much Music and MTV are no longer on air.
Mm-hmm.
And how long do you think
there's no more air?
Well, on cable, that's where those ones always came anyway. But
that's not a generation gap that I'm worried about having, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy to not know that what's on TV.
Yeah.
Well, Rich, I listen to I don't listen to Spotify, I listen to digitally imported.
Are they different?
Yeah.
How so?
It's mostly podcasts, and it's mostly electronic music or trance or ambient music, which is like whale songs and the ocean and stuff. I like stuff like that.
Is it all paid for? Are the artists paid?
It's a subscription, but I think the artists, they pay them because there's like certain channels are dedicated, say, like to DJ Tiesto, Above and Beyond. They have their own channel.
Yeah, I really like audiobooks, but I also like listening to music, and sometimes I'm really torn because Jess won't let me. That's the one limitation I have, is she won't let me put a book and a record on at the same time.
I think it'd be good because you have a book and then you have the music in the background.
Mm-hmm.
If the music has no lyrics, I'm close to being okay with it. But if the music has the lyrics and
there is a finite limit to how many times you can hear a song, so it's not the worst thing in the world for me to separate these things. But I often just get really torn because I want to listen to music and I also want to listen to a book.
But also you want to listen to multiple records because you're like, oh, I want to right? Like there's so many beautiful
Well,
things.
that would be my autism, yeah. But
Yeah. No, it's just hard because then you have to make a decision, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah.
well, and in contrast, if I get Jess hooked on an audiobook, I usually buy like a paperback copy as well, because she's kind of dangerous listening to audiobooks. She'll put her headphones on and go down the street, and the next thing she's walking into traffic. Like she gets really caught up in the stories in a different way that I do.
Mhm.
So there's that.
It's kind of like my other half. He listens to podcasts too. Stephen, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's more of a podcast type of
I
person.
wonder, I think technically, I'm not sure how you'd go about finding it, but I think technically part of what we're doing here is becoming a podcast.
We have a podcast listing
Do we have to
under
update it or
YouTube.
yeah?
I put every week. I put up our
Yeah.
new.
So did you know, Kelly, that you are a podcast?
Oh, okay.
Did you know that?
No.
See, you could trick your husband into watching the podcast of the Isle of Roux.
Good idea. I think he listens mostly to programming stuff and stuff on Factorio, which is a building game. And
I got in the car the other day, and on my I was listening to I like to listen to Quirks and Quarks, and I like to listen to Under the Influence, or has it got a different name now? Can't remember. It's either used to be Under the Influence or it used to be or became Under the Influence. But when those two podcasts ended, a podcast that Jess and I recorded with a very nice lady came on. So I was picking Felix up from karate, and they started the podcast. And I think he glanced and saw the image. He's like, "Oh, show me the picture," because he knew that we were going to start talking. And then we started talking, and it was pretty cute because I think it's like he's kind of impressed that his step parents have. I'm not a step parent, but his dad and stepmom have like interviews.
Look, Amanda said if she can't focus on a book when music's playing, she'll put something on that isn't English. That's true too. Instrumental or a different language.
What language, Amanda, please? Because you know what, I like that idea. And actually, I think I have a kind of vast collection of 1960s French music, but like pop music from France. Whereas like sometimes, and I'm going to get like crucified for saying this, but sometimes the French Canadian musics, they always like rock just a little too hard, you know, like voulez-vous avec quoi croissant? They're like just a little too into it, you know?
And their French is a little different than Serge Gainsbourg.
Right.
And Bridget Bardot.
I probably just lost like 3 viewers by saying that.
I feel like no.
Criticizing the Frank.
It's fine. Just blame it on being Albertan.
Well, I'm actually Albertan French.
I know, that's what I mean.
We'd go to what are you doing?
There's just a hair I saw.
Picking bugs?
No hair.
Grooming?
Yes.
We'd go to like McDonald's, and my dad will eat. I will have 1 hamburger and 1 French fry. Dad, you have to ask for a whole bunch of hamburgers.
A whole bunch of French fries.
You're right.
You could ask for a whole bunch of hamburgers.
Couldn't you? I want to watch The Warriors again.
Oh, K-pop. That's awesome.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting, but awesome. I read something. I cannot reference the source, and I hate it when people tell me they read stuff and they just saw it on social media, but I actually read something, maybe Mojo, and they were talking about why K-pop exists and how there isn't new music coming, band music coming from North America. The K-pop, part of the reason why K-pop exists is in North America, we have a tendency to have shifted to artists versus like bands. And that was the theory, was like why the kids were so interested in K-pop was because they want bands. And I think there really is something about, like, say when the Beatles broke up and everybody got mad at the Beatles, is like when it's an individual person, you're like, it's harder to be enamored with one person's ego than it is with like four people's
Group
collaboration,
collective,
right?
yeah.
And I think that you forfeit that humility when you move to an individual artist, right? And I think like things like all the hostility towards Taylor Swift,
Right.
and those kinds of things often come from we don't want to be like romanced by an individual. We want to be like enamored with a band, and,
A movement almost, like a
Right,
band. Yeah.
and I'm not making excuses. I'm admitting I think there's some vanity in how we approach our I don't want to say heroes and icons, but you know, like people don't seem to have a problem with like loving the Beatles or the Stones, but they get really kind of like icky about like Paul McCartney's not that great. And I ended up giving up a friend of mine because he said the Beatles. I remember he was telling me his theory about the Beatles, and he said, "Yeah, they were just they didn't know how to play their instruments. They got better than their instruments." And I was like, "We're not friends anymore." You know, like,
And goodbye.
yeah, you're a musician, and I happen to know Paul McCartney played the drums better than most drummers, and Ringo was an underrated drummer, and they all played like multiple instruments. So I got really like angry. That's a different point, but I got really angry when he said the Beatles couldn't play their instruments. I mean, I also get super angry, and I don't even like hockey, but I get really angry when hockey fans will call a guy a bum because he misses a shot or does one mistake.
Right. It's like you're sitting on your couch and you're like complaining about this guy.
Well, like becoming
Not you,
international
I mean, like
hockey star is a big deal.
Yeah.
Even if you're the worst hockey player in the NHL, there's this factor of like, you know, you're sweating out there and you're bleeding out there, and these people are like, "Oh, he's a bum," you know. He didn't do what I wanted him to do in that play. Well,
what show is that from? You're a bum.
I don't
From
know.
a movie we watched.
Was it?
Something. And then the guy just kept saying, "You're a bum."
Was it Bullet Train?
Can't remember where it's from.
Was it Once Upon a Time in the West?
No. I don't think so.
I'd like to watch that again.
Yeah, me too.
This guy here had a courier bag filled with spray cans because he was a graffiti artist.
That's cool.
And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
They had a tag artist in the Warriors.
That is super cool.
And he would climb up a pole and he would write Warriors on the side. And he's also the scout. I was like, if I was in a gang, that would be me. I'd be the guy with the spray cans.
I like to climb.
When they got jumped
Yeah.
in the bathrooms by the roller skating, whatever they're called, there's like a gang on roller skates. No, but I mean, it's actually kind of funny because you could never fight in roller skates.
Right.
And he was hiding in the bathroom. He jumped out and he spray painted him in the face and he punched him over with the. Have you even seen the Warriors?
I haven't.
Oh no.
I'm excited to see it then.
We actually watched it together, but we were drinking back then.
I missed out on.
There's a lot of movies I think Jesse's seen with me, and I'll just start talking, and then I realize, oh, she might remember how it started, but then we got plastered.
What does he have in his hand?
A baseball bat. He took it from the Baseball Bat Furies.
Oh.
I don't remember any of the gang names. Theo, how old were you the last time you saw the Warriors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who am I missing? Oh, yeah. Theo's not with us. I muted him. He was my friend, and I muted him.
He muted himself. They chose to mute themselves.
Hello. I have to take the headphones and mic out so I can hear you.
We'll have to take the A train.
Yep, that too. Yep. So.
Did you ever see the Warriors?
No, I did not.
What?
Yep.
Maybe you were a little too mature for it. It might have been like, I'm not watching that silly fluff.
Was it a film or
Yeah.
TV?
It was a film, and it was also a historical narrative. I think it was a comic book. And then the film was actually, so what they did was they told the story of 300. So, you know the movie 300?
Oh.
I've read about it. Yep.
So the Warriors was a modern take on this Greek story about a handful of like really
That's amazing.
interesting warriors that had to fight their way back after their sort of like maybe they got through a war and there was only a few of them left, and they're kind of like in the Warriors they had to bop their way back to Coney, but in the Greek story it was they were somehow abandoned and they had to fight their way back. Just a handful of these warriors.
Yeah. Oh, I thought the 300 was based on the Spartans defending against the Assyrian army.
Okay, you know what? You're right, and I might have part of that story wrong, but not all of it wrong. So,
Okay.
300, I think. I haven't seen 300. I do know about the Spartans. In 300, did the Spartans have to fight their way back from somewhere? Or were they kind of like stuck behind enemy lines?
No, that they succeeded in stopping the invading army because they had to go through a very narrow mountain pass, and so they were successful in keeping them from going. They made it too expensive for the invading army to
Right.
to continue that way. So
Like Hannibal and the elephants.
yeah.
Well, you know what? I tell you what I'm gonna do is later on tonight I will figure out which Greek story the Warriors was paralleled from. Oh, Jess has got her phone handy.
Well, I mean there was the story of Homer's
Yeah.
Homer's the Iliad. Yeah, isn't that
100% not Homer's Iliad? I'm sure of that. But
okay?
Here. So the 1975 film The Warriors and its source material, Sol Uric 65 novel, are both inspired by the ancient Greek text Xenophon's Anabasis, which tells the story of Greek mercenaries trying to fight their way back home after being stranded behind enemy line.
right. And I recently saw a film about
That's
World War
cool.
II where they're stranded behind enemy lines. And I think that that was also maybe the same Greek story told from a modern perspective. But I do really want to watch Warriors again.
I do too. Like, holy Anabasis. Cool.
So not 300.
Xenophon's Anabasis. So they were historical narrative recounts the journey of a group of Greek mercenaries who, after being led on a campaign by Cyrus the Younger, a Persian prince, find themselves stranded far behind enemy lines and must fight their way back to the Black Sea.
Right.
Cool.
We gotta bop our way back to Coney Island.
That's really cool.
I used to use that line to find out if people were my contemporaries. The way that one of Ace's friends who I met on Facebook was named Robert Paulson. And it took like years for me to realize his name wasn't Robert Paulson, that was a reference to Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah. Take the A train.
Must take the A train. Boom. Boo do 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 do. Oh, okay.
What is it? What?
I'm just getting tired.
Oh, what time is it?
9:20.
Oh, well, we're only going to go to 9:30 now. Not 9:36. What's so funny about
You're
that?
so-
Not 9:37.
No, not at all.
Definitely.
Is
Not
it
even 9:35. 9:30.
on the dot?
It's on the dot.
I'm going to just
That's-
shut the feed without even saying goodbye. Just be like,
Yeah.
dirt, dirt, dirt. Why am I doing this?
Because of the type font,
I want to have some drips.
the font type.
I want to have some drips. I'll put a drip here. I'll put a drip here. I also want to watch Ocean's 11, but the original.
It always drips, and that's not dripping.
Theo,
Yo.
did you ever play Blip?
Nope.
Do you remember the commercial?
Nope.
It went blip, 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 blip.
That progression is familiar to me, but I couldn't tell you where I heard it. So there you go.
Kids, and all they did was blip, 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 blip.
I saw a most amazing art performance the other day that involved juggling and percussion.
Nice.
And it was in a triangle. This guy was in a triangle, and when he with rubber balls of some kind, and when the ball hit a wall or the floor, it made a particular tone. And he did some absolutely amazing both juggling and percussion sounds. Just brilliant. Every time I see stuff like that, I just go, yeah, there are some humans on this planet that are just simply magical. Yeah.
I remember I was at the Fringe Festival doing chalk drawings for cash, and in the square, a bagpiping group was trying to outplay an African drumming troupe. And they were sounding off against each other, fighting for space, and then they started to jam together. Now, this might not be an amazing story, or it might be an amazing story, but I am telling you, about 15 years later, there was a musical group on CBC that had just recorded an album. And when they asked how they got the idea to do what they were doing, they said, well, they were at Fringe Festival. And at the other end of the festival was this Scottish bagpipes. And then at the other far end of this festival was these African drummers. And that they just had a sound battle, and then they started jamming together, and then they've been playing ever since. And I can't say for sure that it's the same story, but they were awfully familiar. And if they were, then I was there for that moment. Now, there's another moment where I used to work in this cafe called Cafe Beano. And Cafe Beano, a lot of their staff went to Aberhart. And I don't know if people call them Tegan and Sarah or Sarah and Tegan.
It's Tegan and Sarah, I believe.
The reason I call them Sarah and Tegan is because, if I remember this correctly, Sarah was slightly older than Tegan, so when they grew up, they would call them Sarah and Tegan, but Tegan did all the writing, so she eventually said, no, we're going to be Tegan and Sarah. But I remember the twins used to play their guitars at my coffee shop, because I think they went to high school with the girls that worked at that coffee shop, and there was some kind of inn. And I kind of remember that being their first show, and I thought that was pretty neat. And then later on in life, they wrote a book and they made a TV show, and their interviewed them, and he talked about their first show. And I was like, I think I was there for that show. But then it turned out their first show was in a pizza place. So either they forgot their first show was at Jambo Java, or maybe
Beano.
Or did I?
You said Beano earlier.
Oh, I meant to say, it wasn't Beano, it was Jambo Java.
I thought that you were Beano.
Yeah.
Jambo
Java.
Not Beano.
And so either maybe they told people at Jambo Java that it was their first show, kind of make us feel special, or maybe like they had closer ties to the people at the restaurant that they said there was their first show, or maybe I'm just have a tumor and I remember it wrong, but I do have a pretty good memory. and I kind of remember their first jam was at our coffee shop. But also, they kind of evolved quite a bit from when they started playing at the coffee shop.
Oh yeah.
When they were doing Lilith Fair and got picked up by Neil.
Yeah, they've made a living from being musicians for sure. I gotta ask, what are you doing? That painting's fascinating, but what's the end game here?
I was doing paintbrush.
And the indigo.
Yeah, I was just getting close to the end of the night, and I already painted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paintings. So for my 9th, I was just planning.
Oh my god!
Just making.
There you go. Give him some. Okay, he doesn't need shoes now. Make his hat more pronounced. Yeah, that's it. Boy, don't you just love backseat artists?
I don't mind. I did open the Rumble House just for that purpose.
Oh, and a cat. Gotta have a cat. Yeah.
But I do recognize that sometimes I just do something kind of nice and simple and abstract with no expectations, and then I totally wreck it by making it more.
Yeah, you're wrecking it now. So there you go.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because
I know.
12 years painting for other people, and now I can do whatever I want.
That's right.
You know the song about how that goes?
And you can know about how does the song. I'm sure there's lots of songs on that theme, but
then there was the Rumble House. Now there is the Isle of Roux.
Oh.
Where no one ever tells us what to do.
See, now I know that's the intro song, but you know what's hilarious is the way my brain works. The images take over, and I really can't hear the music. Yeah.
Do you know that the piece you sent me this morning, I looked at, and I was so impressed with its abstract nature that I gasped. I did the thing that if I was wearing pearls, I would have clutched them in something that said something like, "Oh my God," like that. Like I had what's that lady's name? No, the actress. I had a
Greta Garbo.
No, it wasn't Greta Garbo. It was like it doesn't matter.
The woman who was the foil for the Marx Brothers.
I want to say like Kate or Kathy or
Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hepburn. I had oh my God, like that.
Oh.
To tell you the truth, I probably don't know who Katharine Hepburn is. I think my idea of who Katharine Hepburn is really comes from Martin Short's copy of what do you call impression of Katharine Hepburn. I don't even know if I know who Katharine Hepburn is. I remember Martin Short going, "Oh my God," like that. So.
You did pretty good.
Do you know who Katharine Hepburn is?
Only same thing. Only through
Martin Short.
No, mine is through Kate Blanchett's interpretation of her in the movie The Aviator.
Oh.
And she sounded exactly like what you just did.
We really should watch that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got for time?
9:30.
It's time to go. Good night, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
See you guys. Ciao, ciao.
Take care, guys. Hope
Woo.
you're